Okay, so welcome to Create and Listen for Equinox. Equinox, September, autumn 2025. So in the Northern Hemisphere, which is where I am, we are celebrating the autumn equinox. And obviously, if you are in the Southern Hemisphere, you will be celebrating the spring equinox. Now, I'm not going to dive in particularly to what equinox is, because I feel that so many people have already covered that. But I have been feeling the call to integrate some of the energies that are going are around, and feeling a lot of pressure around that. So I've been doing some of my own work this morning and to integrate, and I feel that now I'm able to share what I feel is mine to cause and create, of what wants to come through. So I'm going to start by lighting a candle. The importance of ritual at this equinox time is something that I feel very passionate about. We symbolise our passion with that fiery energy, and just allowing that moment of pausing, as we light that candle, to say, yeah, I'm coming into a sacred space. As we work with Create and Listen, there is an element of ritual of this space being sacred. So I'm just going to put my candle over there, and I'm just going to represent that sacred space by drawing myself that boundary, that this is the space that I am claiming for me, as we come together to create at a sacred time. There's a real sense that this is a sacred, it's not even a pause. It's a sacred balance. That really is the energies of equinox. And as I was I spent some time under a beautiful tree this morning, and as I was sitting under this tree, the tree gifted me this beautiful leaf, and as I was sitting there under this ancient tree, there was a little ladybird that crossed my path, and the ladybird energy is one of is one of it's that this red energy wants to come in. I had the red ladybird, I had a red spider, and there's this real reminder that we get to be passionate about what we do. So that is certainly one of the energies that is coming. So we're just gonna go with some red for the moment. I'm just going, and one of the things I love to do, got some bugs from the leaf as well, is just there's so much going on that I feel that I want to come into this space in a grounded way, and a way I love to do that is to just simply write the date. Now I'm writing the September 21st and 22nd because what we have going on around us in the cosmos right now is we've got a new moon eclipse in Virgo, and we also have we have equinox. That's coming. The actual time of equinox in the UK is something like 7 something this evening. I did write it down. I can't see that. So we've got the new moon eclipse, and it was almost like within minutes of the eclipse in Virgo, the moon actually went into Libra. So the equinox is very much flavoured by Libra, and the new moon eclipse is in Virgo, and so we've got all of this coming together. Now, and then we have all this sort of fiery energy going on, because we have Mars going into Scorpio. That I wasn't going to particularly mention, but that feels like that's sort of adding in, it's a flavour of what's coming to this page. It's a sort of seasoning that is going to come in here, I suspect. Okay, so at any time in this process, in this this page creation, I invite you, just to put your hands on the page and just take a breath, because that is very much the energy that is going on. There is, I'll lean into it a little bit, but then there's something else that wants to come forward, I know. So in the background, let's go background of all this. Let's go with the Virgo. The Virgo energy, of course, a Virgo is an earth sign. And the sort of things that we have going on in Virgo is daily routines, and service to others. There's a patterns energy wants to be in there. There's health. There's a focus on our health. And of course, what we've also got is this eclipse going on. And what the eclipse says is, enough. Enough. I'm done. Enough. Enough now. Enough. Enough. If you've been following me at all, we've been talking about the ending of one cycle. That's what the eclipse, we were in between eclipses. I'm not sure if I can find my eclipse page now. I think it was that one. I think it was the butterfly. That it was, this is, things are never going to be the same again. This change is here. This is big change. Big change. Big change going on. End of old patterns. End of the old cycles. The old cycles are, you have the choice. This is a choice. Okay, let's just be clear about this. You have a choice. This is a choice point. This is a moment. This is a turning point. Somebody referred to this as a turning point. We have a choice to say, do I want to carry on in the same old way of all the old stories and all the old patterns, and am I going to stay there in what might feel like a safe place, or am I ready to say, enough, I'm done now, I've learned my lesson, I'd like to move on now, and I'm going to let go of all of the shit that is going on. And I now choose. I choose. That's important. This is what we get to choose. And what we get to choose at equinox is, with the Libra energy, is we get to choose a new colour. We want a new colour. We're going to choose clarity. We're going to choose balance. And you'll notice, once again, this messy eclipse energy of the things that you're chucking out and the things you're calling in are all sort of smushing together. Okay, let's do that. Let's smush all of those together. Now, because my pastels are water based, I'm hoping that what I can do is, with a little wet wipe, is just sort of course we've got the felt pen under there as well, but we're just going to come over here like that. This is all gets to be smushed together. I have noticed that safe boundary that we have around us. While all of this change is going on, we are protected. That's Ladybird energy. Ladybird is one of protection in times of change. Okay. And then what I really feel wants to come into this earthy energy in Virgo are, you know, how do we stay grounded in all of this upheaval? Because it does feel like the world is being turned upside down, and it can be really unsettling. You know, it can feel it can feel clunky, it can feel challenging, it can be, oh my goodness, you know, let me crawl into a corner. But this is what came to me while I was sitting under my tree this morning, was we have the choice to not focus on all of the discomfort. Just make sure I'm still in screen. Is we now get to bring in the higher frequency energies that will be of service to the planet, to our friends, to our family. I want these earthy colours. They're sort of green, but they, you know, we're shadow and light in all of this equinox energy. And so that's what I want to bring to my page. Let's think about what are the higher frequencies that I get to choose in this eclipse. That brush feels a little bit heavy-handed, that brush. So I'm just going to set that to one side, because one of the gifts I had from the tree this morning was I had this beautiful feather which landed, and so, you know, there is a lightness to how we express these higher frequency energies. That feels better. We don't need to be heavy-handed about this. You know, we are bringing love, we're bringing joy. Just think about what do you want to experience? What do you want to be in the world? You know, what energies does our planet need right now? I've got hope in there. I've got trust. Breathe into these higher frequencies. Trust. There's a feeling I just want to keep writing the word joy all the way around my page, you know. Okay, so we're just going to go round adding joy to the page. Okay. Where can I bring more love into my relationships, into my friendships, into the people that, into the people I meet? Trust. Faith. You know, do we believe that this beautiful planet of ours is you know, it's changing, it's growing, and it's going in a higher direction. That's what wants to come through. I have all these beautiful leaves. You know, I'm going, how do I get my leaves now onto this page? And I love the fact that the leaves that of the tree that I was sitting under is called a lime tree or a linden tree, and those leaves are all heart-shaped, all heart-shaped. Now I can use my bigger brush. Now this is where we get to be heavy-handed as we bring this, you know, these lovely leaf shapes are going to come to the page, because it's expansive. Now we get to expand on the love and the joy and the faith and the trust and gratitude. You know, add those words that want to come through. Have a sip of water. Integrate all of these energies. Embody them as you take that sip of water. Whew. Okay. There we go. And there's a sort of, you know, but what do I want in the background of this? Because this is equinox. Equinox is about balance. It is about the light and the dark. And actually, I prefer shadow. Prefer shadow to dark. So let's surround those beautiful heart shapes with remembering that we get to be light and shadow in this. You know, I sat under this tree barefoot this morning. It was a bit muddy. I'm in the UK. And yeah, it was beautiful. It was a bit muddy, but that's where we get to grow. That is where we get to really experience and learn what wants to come forward. And what else do I want on there? Let's have a little bit more. Let's have a little bit more of the beautiful dark blue. It's not really a muddy colour, but it's reminding me that when they're in the shadow, that's where, you know, this is a colour of intuition. That dark, we've gone from that safety energy of the root chakra, keeping us safe, and I fear what's coming in now is this beautiful colour of our third eye energy centre, third eye chakra, that it is it's within the shadow that we start to really lean in to our intuition. And there's almost a sense of, you know, I want more of this. I want more of the I think that's the new moon is you know, is a dark time. The skies are beautiful. You can see the stars because the moon isn't shining. and it's within the dark, within the shadow, that we get to really begin to see the truth about ourselves, where we want to grow, okay, what else does my page want? My page, and quite often when I've got a page like this where there's a lot going on, is I'm just going to add some gold. And again, if you've been with me any time at all, you will know that we get to that hands on. It's time to get your hands dirty. Hands on, get stuck in there. You know, this is not a time is this, what, please can I have the words? This is a time to shine your light, even if you are feeling hidden by shadow. This is where we get to shine. We get to shine the light of love. And it's a hands-on commitment. Saturn is in opposition to all of this. Again, I don't want to dive too much into the astrology, but Saturn invites commitment. This is, you know, I'm stamping my seal, my fingerprint. So personal. And we get to say, yes, this is what I choose in this equinox time. Okay, just take a moment, deep breath in and release. Deep breath in and release. Take a sip of water. Remember, this is a time of sacred pause and ritual. Listen to what your body is asking you to do, because your intuition knows. You know what you need.